Tickets for the green industry's largest trade show and event, Equip Expo 2023, are now on sale. Brian has arranged a way to help you save 50% on registration for you and your entire team. Simply use promo code Brian at checkout to save half off, and we'll see you this October, the 17th through the 20th in Louisville, Kentucky. We'll also provide you a special link in the show description.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no-nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, super excited about having a guest of the show named Chris Kaiser joining us. Chris, good morning. How you doing, brother?
I'm well, Brian. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, if you guys don't know, you guys will by the end of the show. Chris Kaiser is a friend of the show and a frequent guest. We get him on 2 or 3 times a year, and he has got the pulse on the industry's biggest trade show, which is all things Equip Expo. And so, Chris, real quick, maybe to get up to speed some of the new listeners that maybe haven't heard our previous shows or know your total background, could you get these guys the highlight reel about who you are, your background, and then a little bit about what we're going to be talking about, brother?
You bet. I run the Outdoor Power Equipment Institute, the trade association for equipment makers. The show is owned and managed by OPEI, and we have an education foundation called the Turf Mud Foundation. We've reached 70 million kids, teachers, and families with messaging about the importance of the outdoors. So I run all 3 shops. OPEI is headquartered in Alexandria, Virginia, Metro Washington, D.C., and the show is headquartered in Louisville. So I sort of run back and forth.
There you go. There you go. And Equip Expo, for anybody who is just getting into the green industry or maybe didn't get a chance to listen to our podcast since maybe last summer, last fall, since you were there, what's the Equip Expo? What we're going to hear a lot about over the next 6 months. So what's the Equip Expo all about?
Well, it's the largest trade show experience for landscape contractors, hardscapers, and people in the business, where they can see and most importantly experience outdoor power equipment and all equipment used in the maintenance of landscapes. It's a unique environment. We're 40 years young this year. We're celebrating our 40th anniversary. Year before last, we had the second largest show in the country. Last year, by square foot, I think last year we're probably getting 1 or 2. But I think this year will be designated as the largest annual trade show in the United States.
Okay.
It's a big show, million and a half square feet. But most importantly, it has 30 acres outside where we let our attendees, it's a private show, it's a business show, where we let our attendees demonstrate, drive, repair, dig, you name it, power products.
Wow, that's awesome. So let me ask you this. I think a lot of people, myself included, I'm always inquisitive like this. What are some of the other large trade shows of like the size and scope that Equip Expo runs at? Because I know you guys are always top 5 and growing every year. What other kind of trade shows are out there?
ConAg, it's the big construction show, but that's every 3 years.
Yep.
Utility Expo, that's every 2 years. PAC Expo, which is a 1 million square feet show, they're every other year. So we're a very large annual trade show. Typically shows this size just aren't every year.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I heard of ConAg. We have some friends in the industry that go down, I think it was in Las Vegas, if I'm not mistaken. And they say like, the booths there are just literally insane. And no doubt, we have the Detroit Auto Show actually here in Michigan, where I'm from. And the amount of time and effort, and finances obviously put into these shows is just second to none, as you guys can imagine. So Equip Expo, almost 1 million square feet, like we were saying, and indoor, outdoor, and the 30 acres. It's everybody that is a player in the green industry space is there. So, Chris, I'll just key it up to you, because we've had you on a little bit before. Some people are know of Equip and they know what it's all about. But what are you looking most forward to this year?
Again, it's always new equipment, right? So you're always looking forward, latest technology, the latest in autonomous product, remote product, interconnected product, lots of new power source stuff, lots of battery product now coming on in a meaningful way, not just for the consumers, but for commercial operators. So lots and lots of battery introductions this year. You're going to see an awful lot of manufacturers in that space. For me, it's always the new equipment, but as you and I have always discussed, it's a family reunion for me. I've been at 16 years. So you see a lot of returning friends. You always meet some new folks. And there's always typically some generally fun stuff to do The show's known for its concert series, and because this is our 40th anniversary, we're kind of going crazy. We're going all out. We rented the Yum Center Arena, which is one of the finest venues of its kind in the country, for Third Eye Blind and Dylan Scott as an act. And we're opening it this year with our reception at the Kentucky International Convention Center, new facility downtown, adjacent to the Marriott and Hyatt. Beautiful, beautiful facility for the opening reception. So we have those kinds of events. Don't cost our attendees anything, and but helps makes us unique.
So let me ask you this, and help me navigate this a little bit, maybe day by day. But are we doing the same opening reception that we did last year at the baseball stadium, or is this a different thing for Tuesday night?
It's a different thing.
Okay.
Remember how cold it was? It was insanely cold.
It was cold for us Michiganders, brother. I was wondering what it was like for you Southerners. So
it was terrible. So we were not adjusted for it. Just for your listeners. It was very, very unusual for Louisville, Kentucky.
Sure.
To have that kind of temperature, but it was very cold. So we did get some. As you know, we had 4,000 plus people there, and we're going to take it inside. The other thing we want to do, I think, on a going forward basis, is rotate our opening reception to other venues around Louisville so people get to experience new things every year. I think we're eyeballing Churchill Downs for next year.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, just to do something different. So the Kick is a beautiful new facility. I mean, it really is. We're going to have the Crashers in there playing. So it'll be a nice event, indoors, warm, and dry.
That's awesome. I was going to say, I wonder if my friend Paul was able to get on the horn with you guys. He doesn't like the cold elements. You know what I mean? So he's a Georgia. He's from Ohio, which is the irony. He should be like a cold weather native, but nonetheless, he likes it when it's 70 degrees and sunny and he can sit poolside. And frankly, I don't blame him. But in Michigan, if I just waited for sunny 60-degree days and 80-degree days, we'd be sitting on our hands for a long time. So let me ask you this: on Tuesday we got the reception, and then what is the show hours for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? I think that's a question that a lot of people probably have, and just so we can hear it from the horse's mouth, do you happen to have that info on hand?
Gosh, I think we've shifted over everybody. It's a 9 to 5 format.
Okay.
Is it 8 o'clock? Boy, I can't believe I'm out here. I'm busted like this.
No, didn't mean to throw a hardball right at you because I was like,
no, I think it's 9 o'clock. But we are going to do some breakfast offerings.
Oh, okay.
Last year we created a coffee house. You saw it there in the South Wing C lobby, which was insane, the line. So we're adding additional coffee houses. We're trying to create some breakfast offerings for the early morning attendees, and importantly, our exhibitors. Our exhibitors get there early. We've got to do better with food, and that was one of the things we really are addressing with the venue. Food, offerings, pricing, that kind of stuff we have to improve. We've got to improve the lavatories, and frankly, getting in and out of the building. We have 25,000 people there. It's tough getting them in and out at rush hour. Yeah,
well, when you leave in the show and 25, 30,000 people descend on 3 or 4 exits, it's a challenge. And the first time you go, you might be frustrated with it, but the second, third, fourth time, hopefully you're like, hey, it's just part of. It's no different if you go to a hockey game or football game. There's crazy traffic, no doubt about it. So it's kind of like you expect to be sitting there for a half hour, 45 minutes. If like you said, I think they only have room for improvement from the venue and the facility, but I don't think our group is a big complaining group. Nonetheless, at least none of the people that I get to talk to, part of the podcast show, everybody's very grateful and thankful for the event and everything that everybody puts on. So. How have things been going with some of the recent additions with like the UTV test track, the drone zone? There was a lot of indoor battery powered mowers last year, which I thought I saw like Ryobi, for example, a bunch of great stuff like that. So what's been the feedback so far with the indoor stuff?
Well, it's been very good, and as a result, more folks want to do it. It's a good experience, right? To not be weather dependent on operating outdoors. And
sure.
So you saw Ryobi, you saw Ego, and some others, Steel, Echo with their handheld stuff, operating indoors. We have expanded in the West Wing, so our historic footprint. Last year we sold out for the first time on our history.
Yeah.
North Wing, South Wing, East Hall, and so there is another hall. It's on the west side of Freedom Hall, and it's one of the old original buildings, but it's another 170,000 square feet. We've gone ahead and taken that hall. We had an awful lot of folks on a wait list. We have a lot of folks who wanted to expand that weren't able to. And we had some folks that wanted to do some additional demo indoors. So some of the big names, said, hey, we'd like to expand our ability to demonstrate indoors, but they can't expand their booth operations.
Sure.
They're sold out. So we took the West Wing. It's already selling. We've set a record. Here, I'll break news to you right now. I got the report this morning. We've now exceeded our square footage, our historic square footage, and this year will be our largest show in our history.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, the hype continues to build, no doubt about it. And I do want to just interject really quick, guys. If you're excited about going to a Quick Expo, they've partnered up with myself, a couple other great lawn care, we call them influencers, I guess. But, different friends that are going to the show and have different followings from social. And we have a code if you guys want to use to save 50% off your registration. It's promo code Brian. We'll leave a link in the description. It'll be probably in the show notes for the remainder of the summer season until the big hoopla, which is Equip Expo. And if not mistaken, Chris, it's October 17th through the 20th this year, correct?
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay, cool deal. Well, Chris, let's do this really quick. I'm going to hear a quick commercial break. We're going to hear from today's show sponsors and announcements. And then in a quick minute here, we're going to come on back, talk a little bit about all things Equip Expo. And I want to talk about who you see coming to the show, because a lot of the folks listening in, they have a green industry business or they're considering the industry. And I want to hear to see if the Equip Expo show is for them and the type of attendees that you guys see coming from all across the country and internationally. So you got a quick minute, Chris? We can get you on the horn for just another quick minute.
You bet.
Awesome. All right, guys, well, let's do this really quick. We're going to hit a quick pause. We're going to hear from today's show sponsors, and we're going to come right on back.
When it comes to running a lawn and landscape business, there's always something to worry about. Are my drivers and crews doing their job? Are my clients happy? Are my trucks and machines safe? How can I make more money? Where can I save some money? With GPS Track It, you don't have to worry about it, because our software gives you a level of clarity and control over your business that you've never had. From real-time vehicle and asset tracking and optimized routing to efficiency reports and more, reach your fullest business potential. Call 866-845-1410 or visit gpstrackit.com/BrianLM to get started. That phone number and special link are in the show description. GPS Track It. The whole ball of wax at LawnPreneurAcademy.com is a $4,000 value, and it's yours for only $1,499. But when you apply the code SPRINGRUSH at checkout, all one word, Spring Rush, we will take another $300 off. That's $4,000 of resources for less than $1,200. This special discount ends April 30th.
All right, Chris. Well, we are headed right back into it. Again, thank you so much for the sponsors of the show that allow us to join with you guys Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to bring you guys this encouraging content. Hopefully, you guys appreciate that we are here for you guys just to give you a little bit of that motivation that you need through the workday. Chris, I want to go back to you and talk to you really quick about who is the show for. I mean, we have, like you said, 25,000 plus attendees. We've got pretty much every name in the green industry that I can imagine coming to this event, but who's coming to check out the actual show?
The principal audience, I think, are landscape contractors. They're the number one target audience. Then our dealers, equipment dealers, and distributors. Now it's evolved, right, into all things that affect that landscape, right? So hardscape, irrigation, tree care, pool and spa, things that landscapers are nosing into to help them with their businesses, help them improve their finances, help them keep their labor year-round. And so whenever we listen to landscapers, we survey them, we talk to our attendees, and if they've asked us to do something like tree care or trenching for lighting, irrigation, to help them with their business, so we bring that in. We partner with the Irrigation Association or the Pool and Spa Association or Lighting Association to help if we have classes in those teaching things. We're looking at some certification things this year with inputs. So we try to offer either classes or cert training to folks, to our attendees. But most importantly, we're an equipment show, right? It's a trade show for folks to see the latest, newest product offerings across the board. Like you said, we're the largest of its kind, I think globally now, for just power equipment. We'll have 1,000 exhibitors at the show. And one of the things I heard you say earlier, we are seeing a distinct change this year in our international exhibitors and attendees. The numbers are already very solid. So the Japanese are coming back, the Chinese are coming back, significant Western Europeans are coming back as both exhibitors and attendees. I think the COVID business is behind us. folks are trying to get back to normal. So we have seen the numbers tick up, certainly internationally.
That's awesome. That's actually really cool. I love checking out all the different brands that do come and all the like nuanced businesses, the niche businesses, the folks that you've never even heard of, big and small, frankly, that come and you're like, oh my God, I didn't know these people existed. I'll give you a really quick, for instance, shout out to the Crest people. They had a massive booth, this last Equip Expo. And I doubt that 1 out of 1,000 of my friends even knew what Crest was. I didn't know of them. I never even heard of them. And they had plopped right onto the main floor and bought a huge booth, it looked like, and are just really focusing on battery and autonomous by storm. So guys like that are like great examples that I can think of, Chris, that came to the show and never even heard of them, but they were some huge company from overseas, best I understand.
Right. And you see some other domestic manufacturers wanting into the commercial side of the equation, right? So whether it's Ego or Crest, it's Positech, a lot of folks are evolving their product lines into the commercial sector. This is a great place to test them, to get feedback from your clients, your business folks, on those products. And so it's a test. It's a test before you invest kind of place.
Yeah.
I was looking at the map today, and I said a name I didn't recognize, and it's an Australian product manufacturer, an equipment manufacturer from Australia is showcasing at the show.
That's awesome.
And again, the Chinese companies are back meaningfully. We lost them at COVID. And somebody asked me if we were turning the West Wing into an international pavilion just because of the lots and lots of international names over there.
Sure.
So it's going to be another dynamic show. They're footprinting some things differently because we sold out entirely. We displaced some food, we displaced some chairs and some seating. We've worked now with the decorator to bring them back in. We've adjusted Freedom Hall in its design to accommodate better, just frankly, inbound, outbound food offerings and how we incorporate that West Wing. We're going to shift our transportation, our shuttles, our buses, et cetera, over off of Crittenden on the west side of the facility, which does cause some traffic problems. They used to come in the main gate and mess things up a bit. And so we've shifted them to the back. We've shifted some stuff out on the north side for our exhibitors to make some traffic improvements. There are going to be some significant changes I think you'll see this year.
I love it. One thing, if you guys are listening in, and I know we're excited about this show and we're coming at you guys fast, but one thing I'll tell you is get a plan for the show. Because like what Chris is saying, Chris, if you want to weigh in, cut me off, but that's the truth, because this stuff is going to be all over the place, and you want to be as efficient as possible, right? It's kind of like you need some route density. That's one of the big marquees for our lawn care podcast there, Chris, is if you're cutting lawns, you can't have 20 different customers on 20 different side of towns. We need 20 customers all in one subdivision, right? That's where we make our gains. Well, it's no different when you look at Equip Expo. By the way, I'm trademarking copyright that. Anybody copies that, I'm gonna get them. I'm just having fun. But you have to have some route density at Equip Expo, because if you want to go to the Boss booth and then go to the West Wing now, and if you want to go to the food court, and then you want to go to Steel had a really jamming outdoor booth last year with some introduction of mowers into the outdoor space. Like you can't just do like a 10-pointed star here. You gotta have a plan. You can centipede the whole show. That's fine. That's usually, it always ends up being I've come to find the most efficient way to shake things down. But if you're trying to see specific things, Chris, do you guys have a map or an app or anything like that to help these guys?
I got it. Yes. Yeah,
there you go.
People always ask me who haven't been there. I love the people came last year. They're like, oh my gosh. Listen, it's a big show, right? Physically a big show.
Yes.
There's lots of people, and it's a good thing, right? But I always tell people, you have to have comfortable shoes. You have to prepare yourself to be inside, outside, and don't come to our show for a day. I mean, we'd love to have you. Anybody can come anytime. But for us, to take in our show, you need more than a day. And now we've opened the show, with a very nice Tuesday night event. We've got our outdoor concert at 4th Street Live on Wednesday. Thursday, come for 3 days, right? The closing is going to be crazy. I'm telling you, this Yum Center thing, a bunch of manufacturers have bought a bunch of, the big venue spaces inside. a bunch of suites. There'll be companies and landscape companies, and there's just going to be a lot going on in that building that night. And it's a beautiful, fantastic venue. Good music acts, right? Billboard acts. And so we want you to come to that, all that stuff. It's very unique. It's a lot of fun to engage with your peers. And finally, you can, get to a lavatory, you can buy a beer, buy a dog, walk around. And it's that kind of show. So if you arrive on Tuesday, we'll take care of you.
That's awesome.
For 3 solid days.
Is the wrap-up concert, is that the Third Eye Blind? Is that on Friday, you're saying?
That's Thursday night.
Thursday. Okay, gotcha. That's awesome. And all that stuff, from what I understand, is free. Is that still correct?
It is free.
Okay.
And because we have the seats, bring your wife, bring your kids, bring your friends. Your badge will get you and your folks in.
There you go.
So
there you go.
If you're an exhibitor or a registered attendee, you get them in no cost. We have plenty of seats. The arena holds 26,000. If we have to raise the drapes on the upper, we have a lower bowl concert, but we have to raise the drapes for the upper mezzanine, all better.
That's
so
awesome.
Plenty of seats. Bring your friends.
That's awesome. Hey, if you got it, let's use it. Amen to that. Well, here, let's do this really quick. We'll probably taper the conversation down. I super appreciate you taking time out of your afternoon to join us today to record just a quick update about all things Equip Expo. I'm sure we'll get you back on the show and get maybe a summer update as plans start to crystallize, and maybe one before October, before ticket sales end. Here's what I would just tell you guys: get your hotel. Get a plan. If you guys are going with a couple friends, figure out your guys' room situations. Get 2 queen beds. You could fit 2 to 4 guys in there, no problem. Save some money, cut costs. Or if you guys are just coming by yourself and you want to get a nicer hotel and actually budget, $1,500 and do this thing right and get some plane tickets. The long story short is, guys, do it now because tickets do sell quickly. I'm not sure if Equip will sell out, but vendor space did. So I can't say that attendee space won't one day. I mean, that would be the goal. But hotels, as you guys can imagine, practically speaking, they're limited. Flights in and out of Louisville, although a big hub, they are limited. And if you want to get the best prices and the best availability, start planning ahead for this stuff now. Chris, one quick thing I wanted to mention is a couple extra things that we probably won't have time to get into today, but just some notes that I wrote down while you were sharing was, we've got, the Echo Means Business folks. They always have like the social media lounge. We do some stuff with Echo. Quick honorable mention. We do a little bit with everybody, but no favoritism, just them things that I know that I visit every year. They have the podcast. I think they're going to be calling it the Morning Show. Don't quote me if it's Wednesday or Thursday night. I got to check in with my friend Paul on the Green Industry Podcast and that lineup. But there's an hour and a half morning show that they're going to be doing some live podcast recordings. We're going to run it back with an Energize training event. That was a crazy amount of time. Chris, did you happen to swing on by on that Thursday when we were doing Energize last year?
That's crazy. Yes. I mean, it's an amazing energy. It's a lot of people, but people talking, it was raising their hands.
It was a good time.
It was a good time. I did a drive-by.
Yeah.
I didn't spend a lot of time in there, but I was kind of blown away by it.
No, I that's even better. I didn't know if you have time to check that out. I know you're, shaking hands and kissing babies, and or is it shaking babies and kissing hands? One of the two. But but that was the first time that we did it. I had my friends Paul, Mike, and Blake there helping me do it. Thank you to all of you guys that came and supported. That's totally free. People were asking me just the other day. The tickets came out for sale. People were like, "Hey, where do I register for Energize? Or where do I register for the morning show?" Those are totally free events, guys. That's Energize is picking up the tab for that. They've got companies that sponsor the lights, the trusses, the AV. It's a big deal production. It's 300-400 people joining these events, and they're totally free. One before the event starts, if I'm not mistaken, and then ours is at 3:00. Last year we had like energy drinks and snacks to kind of get you guys energized, so I super invite you guys out to come check that out. Please come support. It'd mean the world. I'm going to be hosting that again. I got a couple guys that are going to help me do it, and we're going to talk all things sales and marketing and getting customers and building a business. It's going to be jam-packed. The trainings, UTV test track, morning show, those are just some of the other quick honorable mentions that I have, Chris. But anything else that you want to pour into these guys while we got you for a quick minute? But man, I'm super grateful to get you on the show.
Sure. The track's back. I think we're going to add some stuff over on the West Wing side.
Okay.
We'll open up that rear asphalt for demonstration kind of things. I think there's going to be some interior maybe a little golf plane inside in addition to the drone zone. But I want to echo something you said is do it now. Look, because we sold out, there's a different kind of energy around the show. We've got a dozen hotels that are already closed, so they're full.
Okay.
I got another dozen with limited capacity. And on the plane tickets, do that now. You'll save yourself some money, right? Those things get way tighter.
Yes.
But the show has shifted forward. The show's timeline has shifted forward. So if you're going to plan to come, just come. As you know, it's a fantastic opportunity. It's a great show. But book that stuff now. Go, on our website, go to equipexposition.com. Registration's there. They can use your link or your number. The hotel connects there. And there's a map there to help you understand how to get around. But start now.
Amen to that. That's all I got. I'm not going to add anything else to it. If you guys are enjoying this and you want to hear a little bit more, instead of me adding more, what I'd say is just search the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast library. We did a couple shows with Chris last year. We try to do one or two equip shows, including like an FAQ or like our attack plan, like any announcements about where we'll be. We'll update you guys as we go. Normally we do an Exmark booth takeover, for example. Super humble. There was 300-400 of you guys that came there last year. We shook hands for 2 hours. We're no big deal. We're just hanging out with you guys. But it was a super humbling experience. We should be doing that again this year with the Exmark folks. I think last year we did that Wednesday on the grand opening day, which was awesome. Exmark's like, we can't have 400 people here on Thursday. We're already busy enough. Let's do it on Wednesday. And we still had 400 people come show up there, shaking hands with me, Blake Albertson, and Paul Jameson, which super thankful, super humble experience, but just a fun time, no doubt about it. All right, guys. Well, we look forward to seeing you guys down at Equip Expo 2023, October 17th through the 20th. Guys, don't forget to use promo code Brian to register and save your guys' self 50% all summer long. Get those tickets ASAP. And by the way, we do earn a little bit of a kickback, and that goes right into supporting the show, supporting the podcast, and the YouTube channel. So thank you guys so much in advance. If you happen to use our code, and don't forget to register you and each individual that you got to bring for your team. You got to register each person separately. But Chris, thanks again for the time, brother, and we look forward to catching up with all of you guys down in Equip Expo, October 17th through the 25th.
All right, thank you.
When it comes to running a lawn and landscape business, there's always something to worry about. Are my drivers and crews doing their job? Are my clients happy? Are my trucks and machines safe? How can I make more money? Where can I save some money? With GPS Track It, you don't have to worry about it, because our software gives you a level of clarity and control over your business that you've never had. From real-time vehicle and asset tracking and optimized routing to efficiency reports and more, reach your fullest business potential. Call 866-845-1410 or visit gpstrackit.com/BrianLM to get started. That phone number and special link are in the show description. GPS Track It. Hi, I'm Mr. Producer, and one more thing. If you're looking to stay up to date with the latest trends and insights in the world of lawn care, then you need our free email newsletter. It's delivered 3 times a week and includes a Monday motivational to kick off your week, a Wednesday what's new to keep you informed, and a Friday weekly recap of all the content we put out. Join our mailing list to stay connected to the world of lawn care and get exclusive access to the latest and greatest from Fullerton Unfiltered and Brian's Lawn Maintenance. Don't miss out on this opportunity to stay ahead of the curve and elevate your lawn care game. Sign up now with the link we've provided in the show description.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.